Hello and a very warm welcome to this special conversation with someone who has converted his life now into a mission of sorts to fight against pornography. I'm joined right now by the former Central Information Commissioner, one of
Thank
the
you.
three key information commissioners, and a well-known journalist in his own right, Uday Mahurkar. Always a pleasure speaking to you, Uday bhai.
Thank you.
ये बताइए सबसे पहले उदय भाई that this mission that you have now embarked upon of cleansing India from the world of pornography, what has prompted you to do this?
You see, I've been thinking about it for the last about 2 decades. A film had come called Jism in 2004. That was the first time when this thought got into my mind. If sexual perversion can become a threat to this nation, I tried to mobilize opinion amongst nationalist forces at that time, but I could not succeed beyond a point. Thereafter, I kept on working almost single-handedly, support from odd fellow. Then in 2020, when thereafter the things went out of hand, because now you got Facebook, which is serving such films. It doesn't fall into exactly into the.
But it'll share, let's say, TikTok videos or sexually explicit videos.
No, even let us Facebook. Facebook, you can't call it porn straight away, but they are showing films of sexual perversion between father-in-law, daughter-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, land, ghar malkin and servant. This is a very lethal attack on our culture and society.
But how do you deal with it? Because your critics will argue that these are necessary evils, cultural evils which exist before our society. What kind of a response do you need? Do you need a legal response to this? Do you need a political response to this?
No, I want a response, political, legal, and a response from general public also. Okay? Now, what I am trying to tell the nation. I am saying that today, a majority of the rape cases, the reason is the content which is coming on phone.
On what basis do you say that?
There are so many examples. I'll tell you 3 examples. One boy raped his own sister and killed her in Kasganj about a month ago. I'm giving you latest examples. There are many. 5 days later, one 10-year-old boy and one 8-year-old boy, they saw porn on phone and raped a 5-year-old girl in Gonda. Before that, one principal, school principal in Rajasthan, raped 6 girl students of his in a span of 1 year. All 3 people, they say that we got provoked by what we saw on phone. And in a very large number of FIRs, majority I would say, this is the reason which comes in the investigation. And we have got about 8 studies, I think 4 of them international studies, which prove that content is the main instigator of the rapist.
So I'm trying to understand the way that
Tate Bundy, the biggest rapist killer in the history of US, was sentenced to death in 1989. Before he went to death, he gave an interview in which he said that pornography is the main instigator of every rapist.
I was looking at some numbers, and this is from a report which had come from E&Y, that in 2018, India was the 3rd largest consumer of porn in 2018. Now, I've been seeing that over the last few months, you've been leading this entire initiative. Largely because of your initiative, the INB Minister Anurag Thakur has now taken some steps of banning some OTT platforms.
IT ministry.
IT ministry. But where are we? Are you satisfied with the political response? We're in the middle of an election season. I don't see politicians speaking about this problem.
No, I am not satisfied at all. I very strongly feel that you see, we are on the verge of becoming a great nation. We have set a target for ourselves that we will become a great nation by 2047, which is will become a economic superpower, military superpower, scientific superpower, and not 2047. Most people don't have any doubt that we will achieve this target in 2037. But will we become a culturally pauper nation? What kind of films which are coming? perversion between son-in-law and mother-in-law,
Hmm.
father-in-law, daughter-in-law, teacher, student. There is one film by Old Balaji, which following our movement and complaint, they are forced to withdraw. This is 3x series of Old Balaji web series of 2020, in which male is shown sleeping with his grandmother, stepmother, bhabi, and cousin sister with explicit scenes. Now, what I believe is, and what I'm telling the nation is, that people who are dishing out such content, they are indulging in anti-social activity. They are indulging in rape-inducing activity. Their place is not in civilized society. Their place should be in jail.
You are well familiar with the political class right now, whether they're aware of the challenge. I'm referring to a KPMG report right now of 2019, which had predicted that India will have more than 500 million online video subscribers by the end of financial year 2023. It potentially makes us the second biggest market when it comes to video consumption,
Absolutely.
only next to China. In this kind of a market with access to cheap data, the massive urban and rural divide, do we need to start attacking the filmmakers, or do we need some kind of a sensitization campaign, maybe at the level of schools?
No,
Do you think it has to be a more holistic approach?
We are working at various levels. I agree with you that this is not the job of only the government. We have to sensitize parents, teachers,
The male gender.
elders, correct? No. We have to spread awareness in vocal sections of the society. But government has a major role to play, because law cannot be enacted by citizens. It is the job of the government.
Right.
And I feel that there is a need for a very strong law, which I have visualized. Now, so far as temporary steps are concerned, we are suggesting that the IT law should be amended, and all such material should be put in one group. And the accessibility of that group should be linked to Aadhaar card and fingerprint.
But why should I not say, Udayji, that the government of the day perhaps is not looking at you seriously at all? Because while we're in the middle of this election season, I was just looking at the BJP manifesto or the Congress manifesto. Everybody speaks about healthcare, right? What about care from porn? What about mental health care? Are we just completely oblivious?
Recently, the government has banned 18 apps and 57 social media handles. So we can't say that the government is not totally aware. But then it should have been part of their manifesto.
Did that disappoint you? That if we talk about हम सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद की बात करते हैं, ये सांस्कृतिक राष्ट्रवाद जो है, how is it possible if you cannot deal with this mushrooming of porn in India?
You see, I feel this is the biggest challenge of our nation. And India not becoming a Vishwaguru. We can't become Vishwaguru without defeating this monster. And after having done the Pratishtha of Lord Ram in Ayodhya, now our next target should be doing to do Pratishtha of his Maryada in the society.
Is pornography great business, and is that one of the reasons why maybe the stakeholders are not really showing the kind of seriousness which this subject deserves?
No. You see, basically I told you that there is a lot of sensitization which is needed in every class of people, including the political class. Correct? Because this is breaking the society, this is breaking our family system, which is our biggest strength. So, what I am saying is, I told you about amendment in the IT Act.
Yes.
Second thing is that setting up of a joint content control authority by the government of India, which quasi-judicial or judicial powers.
How? Just throw some light on that. Like there's a film censor board, right?
There should be a joint content control authority whose only job will be to prevent perverted content.
With quasi-judicial powers.
Yeah, quasi-judicial or judicial powers, yes.
So, like, let's say, you come from the Information Commission, for instance. The sort of the designation, of an Information Commission is that of a judge,
yes,
right? So your judicial powers are clearly defined. When you're the censor board chairperson, your powers are clearly defined. There's a censor board members, and there's a chairperson. Now, are we talking of a new body now on top of this, which will work alongside
to prevent only perverted content.
What is the legal definition of perverseness? I mean, how will you legally define what is perverse?
It's sexual perversion. It's the kind of films I have described.
Sexually explicit content.
Yes. No, more than in that, incest based. Worst part is that there are some people who are not exactly showing pornography, but they are showing such films. I am saying that the government should come up with a law of ethics code. It will define permissible limits for every audiovisual film. In the preamble, the law will say that the damage you are doing by dishing out such content is more than what the foreign invaders did. In America, drug peddling is almost an anti-national activity. People get jail up to 50 years, even more. What we are saying here, that if certain sections of this law are violated by producer, director, actor, actress, photographer, story writer, broadcaster and distributor. Distributor would include even a WhatsApp distributor,
Right.
Correct? He will face the charge of encouraging rape and indulging in anti-national activity.
Who will decide this joint committee that you coordination
That
mechanism?
law will set
Or
up
the
that
law.
structure.
You want a law like that?
Law, correct. The trial will be in 4 months. There will be no bail for 3 years, even if you go in appeal. And if you are convicted, you will face jail from 10 to 20 years.
Almost like a terrorist.
Absolutely, worse than terrorism. This is cultural terrorism, and the onus, the burden of proof, like in 498A IPC, will be on the accused, and whatever he has put in circulation by distribution or by production, that he will have to withdraw.
Are we not a nation of hypocrites, Udayji?
If a youth or if a kid of 8-10 years, if he sees porn, whatever cultural values you teach him at home, can those values stop him? No, it is coming on phone. I have written 2 books on Mr. Modi's governance. I know how he has plugged holes in the system. I feel that by plugging the holes, corruption, wasteful expenditure, Mr. Modi is saving at least 3 to 4 lakh crore rupees per year, which is 7 to 10% of the budget. So if you look 1 lakh crore, if you lose 1 lakh crore because of this, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
If in Hindi what I say is, Sanskriti bachegi to desh bachega.
All right. Okay. Sanskriti bachegi to desh bachega. Let's see what happens post elections once the new government is informed. Udayji, we'll come back to you to see whether this law that you're talking about actually takes shape or not. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
हम लड़कियों की रिक्वेस्ट है, प्लीज प्रोवोकेटिव और अश्लील फिल्म्स बनाना बंद कीजिए. प्लीज चेंज योर स्क्रिप्ट्स, चेंज योर डायरेक्शंस. OTT and social media are not your license to exploit us.